On today's show,
The 76ers finally get a win, and Kobe can't stop shooting. What in the world?
in Crossfire, we debate if Draymond Green is the league's best center and the better draft class between 84 and 96. What you got?
And inspired by the Currys, we'll list our top 5 father-son combos in NBA history.
It's Wednesday, December 2nd. The starter starts now.
Good evening, Sweet World, and welcome to The Starters. Whether you're listening to the podcast or catching us on NBA TV and or YouTube, we're happy to have you. I'm Jay Skeets, and alongside me, as always, that's Tass Mellis.
Just a heads up, it's Michael Jordan days till Christmas.
To his right, international man of mystery, Lee Ellis.
Friends.
Lele. That means
Lele.
23,
Yeah, I was gonna
guys.
say.
Yeah, no,
12?
we got it. I was working it out.
Yeah, all right.
Last, certainly not least, over at the internet, Starters blog editor Trey Kirby.
Hey,
yo! TK, what's popping off today?
Well, I'm here at the internet looking for your best tweets at #TheStarters, and that's exactly where I found this. Over on NBA Reddit, a user by the name of NonCuro made a GIF of every single NBA player from this season, really underscoring the need to have a notable haircut. Otherwise, you're not going to stick out. But if you're watching at home, tweet at us, use #TheStarters. We're going to need your help a little bit later.
All right, good stuff. Yeah, coming up on tonight's show, Crossfire, and we're going to list our favorite father-son NBA combos.
Nice.
Inspired by the Currys. They're going to be honoring Del Curry in Charlotte tonight. But first, we're starting with a little game called Is This News? We had Trey round up some recent NBA headlines. He'll pitch them to us. We'll determine whether or not it's actually newsworthy. Is it worth talking about, or is it just a bunch of nothing? We ask you to do the same. Jump on Twitter, #TheStarters. Trey, your first NBA headline for us.
First headline as seen on SI.com, the Sixers avoid the NBA's worst start ever, spoil Kobe's Philadelphia return. Is this news?
This is not news.
What?
This is a professional basketball organization. They're supposed to win a game or two out of 82.
They hadn't won since March.
Big deal. They beat a team that has one more win than them. What's bigger news is if you sat down in front of the TV before the first quarter and you stayed till the end of the fourth quarter. I'm sorry, I tried to watch this game.
It was bad.
It was a bit of a struggle all the way through. And actually, this isn't really news because they were very close to winning their last 5 games.
Yep.
Very close throughout the games, and Brett Brown is coaching his butt off, trying to make it work there. This doesn't propel them forward in any way, any closer to their plan, so this isn't news.
You agree with that?
I think it is news because it's been so long. And the players are trying to win, remember. They don't care about management trying to tank.
This happened
sure.
last year, too.
Yeah, but the players are out there giving it their best every single night. Brett Brown is giving it his best every
yeah.
single night. So for the players to actually go out there and try to go against what management's trying to do and win, I think it is news.
Well, whether or not that is news, I have some legit news. We just found out earlier today that Jahlil Okafor has been suspended for the next 2 games. The 76ers announced this. He's gone, effective immediately, for 2 games. They wrote in the statement, while we are disappointed with his recent actions, we have faith in him as a valued member of the Sixers. He's had a lot of off-the-court incidences, some just reports, some, I mean, you've seen the video of him getting into fights in Boston, so they gave him 2 games. This is news, and I think it's sort of the right decision. The only thing that intrigues me or confuses me is the first video of him getting into the fight comes out, a week ago or
days,
so,
yeah.
and he played 3 games, then a second one emerges, and then they decide this. That's the only strange part to me, but I think he's owned what's happened. I mean, you've heard his comments, look, I did this, I'm not proud of it, and now we can move on. But, you can't go about doing this as a 19-year-old, right?
No, I think they've taken the right decision, as you said, the Philadelphia 76ers. It obviously isn't Jalil's proudest moment, but when you're a young person in the league, he's had a lot of frustration on the court. Occasionally you can understand how that can spill over to outside of the court when you're not experienced in the NBA. And I think, again, just put this behind him, move on. I think we probably won't see too much of it anymore.
Yeah, Philly fan and fan of the show, he's done some work with us, Andrew Unterberger. He tweeted, and I think this is spot on, about this Okafor thing. He said that while this past week is who Okafor is at the moment, that doesn't mean it's going to be who he'll be, right?
No.
He's not locked in. He's a 19-year-old kid.
He's
not a-
I know you
repeat-
did some crazy things. when you
I
were
would
19.
have, I'm glad there was
Really?
no TMZ around when I was 19, yeah.
What kind of things were-
Oh, don't you worry, Tass, don't you worry.
I don't buy it. I don't buy it.
But it's true. I mean, look, we can make fun of, he's getting into the
this is
street
1
fights.
month into his career, so we don't have to, prognosticate here or just say that this
That
is
he's a
going to be a
troublemaker.
serial
Yeah, yeah.
offender.
No.
But he's made a ton of mistakes. This is
Yeah.
a pretty horrible first month for an NBA career.
Absolutely.
Let's be honest.
So it can only get up from here.
Let's hope so.
I'll
yeah.
say this, as I know we got a lot to get to here, but the fake IDs, again, that's a 19-year-old thing to do. The fights on the street, someone I'm sure is, calling him out. I'm not condoning it,
No.
but, you can understand it as a kid. The reckless driving, going 60 over the speed limit, that's just stupid. And I think
Yeah,
he knows
but-
that.
but again-
because he can kill himself or he kills
Yeah.
somebody else doing stupid stuff like that.
But
So,
again, he's 19. If
I know,
he was a
hopefully lesson
30-year-old, then you wouldn't say the same thing. So I think we just move on from it.
Okafor getting 2 games, he'll miss the next 2 for the Sixers. All right, Trey, let's get back to the headlines. What do you got for us?
Next headline was seen on ESPN.com. Byron Scott says the Lakers will live or die by Kobe Bryant's shooting. Is this news?
Are they zombies? There's a lot of dying going on with this Lakers team right now. This is The Walking Dead with this squad. I think this is news because I'm starting to become convinced that Byron Scott and Kobe Bryant are sabotaging the Lakers to help keep that top 3 protected pick.
Though
I'm only half joking here.
I
Yeah.
think Kobe's trying to put those shots in.
But this is why the Lakers are worse than they need to be
agree.
right now. I think D'Angelo Russell is going to be a very good player. Julius Randle's shown some flashes of being good, and Jordan Clarkson is good. These are the guys that they need to be losing with, not going through
of
Kobe.
Of course.
Yeah.
It's confusing. After Kobe announced his retirement, Byron Scott came out and said, I thought he had another year in him. What is he watching?
Right.
Exactly. I think
There's
Byron
no
Scott
one
is having
player who's bigger than a
difficulty.
team or a franchise. And right now, Byron is allowing Kobe to do that. And I think this is going to cost Byron in the long run as well.
Well, this is what's interesting is, by all reports, the Lakers are saying, well, we're not going to fire Byron Scott. Because I think to some extent they're like, hey, this is good. This is fine. We're
Yeah.
going to hopefully keep this top 3 protected pick. They want to finish worse than the 76ers, to be honest. They'll have something like a 15% better chance if they're the worst team in the league, let's say, of
What a
keeping,
race
of
this
keeping
is
that
gonna
pick. Well, you laugh about it, but that's
I
the way the
know,
system
I-
is set up.
I know, and
And
that's-
I'll tell you what, if you've seen any of Ben Simmons, you want the number 1 pick.
I've seen
Sure.
a lot of
Right?
Ben
I
Simmons.
think what the Lakers' idea is, we want some stability in our organization right now, just because it has been a bit unstable, and that's why Byron Scott has that job and will likely stay there. But it doesn't really make sense because you got a guy like D'Angelo Russell who wants to know, why aren't I playing in the fourth quarter? And Byron's not communicating with him. And unless they've had private conversations recently, that's not a good thing for Byron. It's not a good thing for D'Angelo Russell's future.
It's not a good thing for the franchise.
It's not a good thing for the franchise. Those guys you mentioned, need to be playing, and I'd like to watch them miss.
And they're good players. That's the
course.
thing. D'Angelo Russell, he hasn't had as good a rookie start to his season as some of the other
Right.
rookies, but you can see why he went number 2.
Some of those passes.
Yeah,
he did
he's
last
got
night.
great court vision. He's very confident in his own ability, and he can get into the lane.
Just the shots. Kobe shot 17 threes yesterday.
That's
a
wild.
lot.
Before this season, he hadn't shot more than 12. I mean, he's going out trying to get a 50, 60, 70, whatever he's trying to do. 17 threes.
Yeah,
that's a
crazy.
bonkers
All right,
number.
Trey, next headline.
Next headline comes to us from the Houston Chronicle. James Harden says playing 40 minutes a game is too much to be efficient. Is this news?
I think it is news because it means that Houston isn't any closer to getting out of whatever they're in, because James Harden is blaming not playing defense and not working his butt off on a couple more minutes a game. This is not because he's playing a couple more minutes a game. Standing around watching guys rebound or complaining on the floor is not because he's playing a couple more minutes a game. He's got to own it. This is just because he's playing poorly. I don't buy this. And
This isn't news. This is an excuse.
it's an excuse. It definitely
is.
is an excuse, but I don't think Houston is coming out of this anytime soon because their leader is saying 40 a night is pretty tough, and I'm quoting, especially if you want to get efficient on both ends of the floor. Efficient? What does that have to do with anything? And look at his numbers. He's close to 40,
Yeah.
which is a lot of minutes.
It
He's
is.
played
But-
heavy minutes for a lot of his career.
Yeah, for his whole career, exactly.
Yeah.
The last few years, he's at 38, 37.
But maybe it's starting
the
to catch
extra
up with
4 or
him a
5
bit.
possessions isn't bothering.
The offensively, though, the numbers back it up. I mean, fatigue looks like a real thing with this guy when you look at his numbers, his shooting percentages, I should say, in the fourth quarter. I mean, he's been horrible all year shooting the ball. 40% from the field, 30% from 3. In the fourth, it goes down to 34 and 23.
I'm sorry.
Now,
There's no excuses
You
for
don't think?
chatting, missing plays on
defense,
defense.
yeah,
I mean,
There's no-
you have to own it.
Yeah.
This team is playing so poorly.
Yeah.
You can't just say those things if you want to be a leader on this team.
But he's definitely settling for more shots, longer shots than he has in the past. And you can tell from some of those shots he hasn't got the legs into it right now. And that's a sign that he is tired. So I don't know if it's an excuse or not, but he definitely looks like he's fatigued.
What's
to me.
so weird is we thought when Ty Lawson came to this team that he would actually
yeah.
help. He would be able to become that second playmaker.
Yeah.
Maybe he would get Harden some more rest, and that hasn't happened. Lawson, of course, going to the bench. I think we got time for one more headline. Trey, what we got?
Last headline's a good one. It comes to us from Slam Online. LeBron James made the Cavs ban hoverboards. Is this news? They invented the hoverboard.
Yeah, it's news because I didn't think they were actually out yet, but I guess they are.
You've seen J.R. Smith come in on the funky
flesh,
dunk.
Yeah, the funky dunk, yeah.
Yeah, but this one has wheels.
Wait, what did you call it?
Funky dunk. I did call it funky
Yeah, you
dunk.
called
It's
it
a funky
funky
dunk.
dunk.
Yeah.
It's a
duck.
It's a bit of a tongue twister,
Yeah,
that one. Look, this is not news, but if LeBron, as a leader of the team, says something, everyone else should follow along, I think. This team's not going any further than he takes them. So if LeBron says get rid of it, it's out.
I'm enjoying watching how far he's taking this serious
Yeah,
rule, though.
he's going crazy.
He's pulled his guys out of the intros. I enjoy watching
He's pulled his shorts up.
He's pulled his shorts
Yeah.
up. No more long shorts. He's all business. Where does he go next?
You don't take away a man's funky duck, though. All right? That's where I draw the line. If J.R. wants to come in on that, let him come in on that.
If you're a 4-time MVP, you set the rules in the locker
All
room.
right.
They're huddling during intros, and then they're providing us with these great moments because they're out there a minute and a half
He's
before
closer
the
to
game
girls
starts.
there, yeah.
What do you think the top speed on a funky duck is?
I guess 12 miles an hour.
That's exactly
Is
right.
it?
That's
Wow.
exactly
Great
right.
guess.
Great guess. All right, let's hear from you guys. Was it news, LeBron banning the hoverboards or funky ducks or whatever you want to call them? Let us
Funky
know.
dunks.
All right, we got to take a break. When we come back, is Draymond Green the best center in the league? That's what Kevin Pelton says. We'll debate that and more in Crossfire.
Is he a center?
Whoa.
Better
Save
question.
it. Save it.
You have stepped into the crossfire. This is how it works. Trey will give Skeets and me 3 topics. We'll debate each one, and you at home will declare the winner. Trey, let's lay the ground rules.
Yeah, if you're at home following along on Twitter, you think Tass is winning, blast us a tweet that says hashtag Tass wins. If you think Skeets is winning, hashtag Skeets wins. Every vote counts, so vote early, vote often. And here we go, round 1. According to Kevin Pelton of ESPN Insider, Draymond Green, as a small ball 5, is the best center in the NBA. Do you guys agree? Is Draymond Green the league's best 5? Here we go.
You said Kevin Pelton said that, right?
Kevin Pelton.
Kevin Pelton. Oh,
Whoa! This is a crazy round.
We freak out here. Kevin Pelton's a genius, so
It's true.
I'm gonna say yes, he is, because he plays center on the best team in the league, in the best lineup in the league.
Oh,
One of the
come
best
on.
lineups we've ever seen, Ted. Oh, come on. He's played 600 minutes at center over the last 2 years, and they kill teams when he's playing center. So why not? Yes, it's unorthodox, but why not?
In the pregame intros, the P announcer doesn't say Draymond Green at center, and also at center, Andrew Bogut.
True.
They have another center that he plays with a lot.
But then he plays center.
Yes, but he plays with Andrew Bogut and Festus Ezeli the majority of the time, and it's not even close. 83% of his minutes, Kevin Pelton loves numbers, are at power forward. 83%. That means only 17% of his minutes are at center. It doesn't matter if that lineup's good. He's not the best center because he doesn't play center.
He does everything in today's game that you want from a center, which is crazy. He's a great rim protector, and
Yeah.
he can shoot the 3, and he's the best playmaker.
And he goes
arguably
and
on the
protects the
All right,
three-point
break
line
it
while
up, break it
Bogut
up, break
protects
it
the
up,
rim.
break it up. Round 2. With Kobe Bryant's retirement in the news, people have started comparing how his draft class stacks up to that of Michael Jordan's. So which is the better draft class, 1984 or 1996? Here we go.
It's 1984, and not only because George Orwell is a nice guy, but because Michael Jordan. That's it. That's all I have to say. Michael Jordan. He had 5 MVPs. That's more than the entire 96 class combined. But I'll give you some more. We'll throw Hakeem Olajuwon at the center spot.
greatest player ever.
We'll throw Charles Barkley at the power forward spot. We'll throw John Stockton at the point guard. You know what? Got to round out the 5. With those 4 Hall of Famers, I'm going to throw Alvin Robertson, a Defensive Player of the Year, at my small forward to bug you. We're good.
Yeah, well, look, it's tough to argue that. I've already lost this thing. I just saw the number, so who really cares? But I will say the 96 class is deeper. I really do think it's deeper. First off, you got the stars. You got Kobe, Steve Nash, Ray Allen, and Allen Iverson. That's 4 Hall of Famers right there. And then you got
Iverson's
6.
not a lock.
Oh, come on. You got 6 other All-Stars in Peja, Stephon Marbury, Big Z, Jermaine O'Neal, Abdur Rahim, Antoine Walker, Marcus Camby was a Defensive Player of the Year. I mean, it's deep. It is deeper than 84. Is it better? You're right. Jordan, Hakeem, Barkley.
Also 84, good year, because that was the year Trey was born.
You're definitely going to win now.
Pandering, I'm pandering.
Final round.
Man,
need
you
a
look
knockout.
old. You look way older.
That is also true. Final
winning.
round
Who cares?
last night, the 76ers gave Kobe a framed Lower Merion High School jersey for his last game ever in Philadelphia. What's the best retirement gift we're going to see during Kobe's farewell tour?
I think we're going to see something like what the Clippers gave Kareem Abdul-Jabbar when he had the farewell farewell tour. They gave him a yacht. They gave him a boat. And I love that idea. So the Clippers are going to give Kobe a boat. Now, what do they name it? That's the fun part. What do they put on it? You could start with a very simple, he retired, not working. Put a little boat pun. Personalize it a little bit more, Kobe Bryant. Or my favorite, have a little fun with one of Kobe's best tweets ever. And instead of amnesty that, go with amnesty this. On a boat, give it to him. I'm on a boat, man.
Great puns, nice play on words.
Thank you.
Kevin Durant recently tore into the media for not respecting Kobe this season.
Yep.
So when Kobe Bryant goes to Oklahoma City on January 8th and he has to talk to the media, Kevin Durant is going to stop the press conference, break in there, and he is going to conduct the media session and tear into the media himself. Kobe's going to have done a lot of media at that point. This is going to be a great gift for him. He'll watch from the locker room as KD spits fire at the media, like he wants to, because he's holding a serious grudge with the media about this.
Okay, my last answer was better, so I hopefully won, right?
Oh, come on, that's
Oh,
a great
you
one.
didn't.
A
Congratulations,
vote,
go
a
to
vote.
Tasso Smellis
Come
with
on.
the big win.
I blame this-
80% of the
I
vote.
blame this on Kevin Pelton. This is Kevin Pelton's fault.
Your fault, Pelton.
All right, we got to take a break. Lots more still to come on the show. Todd, are you okay, by the way? When we come back, we'll highlight a few of our favorite father-son combos in NBA history. Come on back. Welcome back to the starters. We're down a cameraman, but we will forge on. All right, tonight, the Charlotte Hornets will honor one of their greatest players ever, Del Curry, as the team takes on his son's team, the Golden State Warriors, who are in Charlotte. Del Curry played for the Hornets for 10 years. He averaged 14 points per game. Lee, I know you're loving these highlights.
I am,
Huge
I am.
Del Curry fan, of course, with the three-point shot.
In the Sky Dome.
Oh, yeah.
Curry, the Hornets' all-time leader in games played, in points, nearly 10,000, field goals made, and an obvious one there, three-point field goals with the team there. Again, those are just Hornets records, not his total records. So I love this move with Steph Curry coming to town because maybe this gets Steph off his game a little bit because, Curry was quoted as saying something along the lines of, I'm going to be watching the big screen. They're going to have obviously video packs of Dell playing and stuff like that. Maybe that gets Steph off his game a little bit. Maybe the Hornets can finally beat the Warriors. It's a great move.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, look, there wasn't a lot to cheer about in those early Hornets days when
Yeah.
they first joined the league. But Del Curry is one of those players who was pretty exciting to watch. And if you look at Steph Curry now, what we talk about, that quick trigger, well, look at Del's. I mean, he gets that ball off pretty quick.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
And-
yeah.
And one game I do remember, actually, it was Jordan's first game back in North Carolina when the Hornets joined. Del came off the bench, only had 11 points, but he really lit up the Bulls. They went on to win the game. It was awesome.
Growing up in Toronto, I actually loved watching Del
Yeah.
play for those playoff teams.
Yeah.
I actually happened
Right.
to see him out at a movie theater with his wife, Sonia, and a bunch of his kids.
Right.
And I thought to myself, wow, that man has a lot of kids.
I thought you were going to say, well, that kid looks like a future MVP
Yeah,
to me. Look at him eat that popcorn.
No, not at all.
just-
I think Steph is actually going to be really zeroed in tonight. He's going to go up.
Well, that's true. He either tries to one-up his father by going
yeah.
for 60, or maybe, again, he's distracted. All right, well, because of this, the Dell and Steph father-son combo, we thought it'd be a little fun to put together a few of our favorite father-son combos in NBA history. Not the best, just some of our favorites. We've been talking a lot about Kobe over the last little while, so you got to put Joe and Kobe Bryant in
Jelly
there.
Bean, yeah.
Jelly Bean, that's right, and Bean into the mix. We'll put them at number 5.
It's the beans.
Kobe was
Love
drafted
it.
13th. Joe was drafted 14th.
That's right. That's
Not
right.
the same draft, though.
Not the same draft, no.
Number 4 on our list, Michael and Klay Thompson. Now, Michael, the number 1 overall pick in the 78 draft. He played for 12 seasons, scored a lot of points.
Yeah.
Over
player.
12,000 points. Klay, I mean, look, already an NBA champ, all-star.
All-star, yeah.
So, pretty good father-son combo there.
Oh, yeah.
Number 3. Oh, yeah, you knew we were including Bill and Luke Walton. But it is funny.
Greatest son in the history of Western civilization.
That's true. But it is funny because, Bill the MVP, Luke
Yeah.
not nearly as great as his NBA career. He's
Won
a
as
great
many
coach.
championships, though. He won 2.
That's-
Bill won 2.
That's fair. At number 2, well, there you go. There, is that when you saw him?
Yeah, they just watched Jurassic Park.
Dell and Steph and Seth Curry, of course, include the other brother in there, playing for the Kings. Shooting Stars champs, I can't remember, did they win?
Not
No,
yeah,
they did.
No,
They
no,
can't
went
take down
all
Bosch,
around.
man.
Yeah.
And number 1, look, we have him on our show every week, so we had to go with the Bone Zone family. Rick Barry, a superstar, Hall of Famer. Brent and John, Andrew, if you were a Barry and you didn't play in the NBA, your name was Scooter. Sorry, Scooter. Just kidding. So you got to go with Bones. And I know people are going to be upset. Where's Jimmy Walker and Jalen Rose? Both great players. So let's hear from you. What's your favorite father-son NBA combo? Tweet at us, hashtag the starters. Trey will have some of your best answers. Are we missing any obvious ones besides maybe Jimmy and Jalen? All right, when we come back, Lily, got your thumbs ready?
Oh, they're ready.
Very solid play of the time. Back with the starters. We are into a new month here in the pick and play battle. I took the Lakers last night. I picked up right where I left off the month of November, so I'm 0-1. You guys are 1-0. We have confirmed that I will be doing November's pick 'em payoff because I lost, had the worst record. We'll be doing that on Friday's show.
Nice.
What will it be?
I don't know. They refuse to tell me, which is rare because sometimes we know, but I have no idea.
They're keeping it a secret.
Yeah, keeping it a secret. I can't wait. All right, tonight's game. It's the Raptors and the Hawks. Kaka! We're going down to the game.
Oh, we're going down.
We're going down to the
Fortress.
Fortress right after this. Tass, the only one taking the Raptors. I'm taking the Hawks because I feel like I can't lose.
Yeah,
If the Hawks
right.
win, well,
That's
I win
true.
a game finally, and if the Raptors win, I'm a Raps fan, so great. All right, Lee, where are we going for a very solid play of the night?
We're going to Philadelphia, and why the Lakers lost last night, they can hold their heads high because they claimed a very solid play with this beautiful 1-2. Roy Hibbert and Jordan Clarkson. Watch it again. Bounce
Nice.
pass, little pump
Nice.
fake party. Could have laid it up. He didn't. That's fine. That's what I call a very solid play.
All right, so we've got the Raptors and Hawks. Oh, right, I forgot
Yeah,
about this.
forgot
Sorry,
to tell,
Lee.
this is from Jeremy Russell sent this in. He's been tracking the very solid plays by team for the month of, well, October and November. So there you can see a nice colourful chart. We'll be keeping
It's a
that
lot
up.
of variety, man.
There's a
Not a
lot.
ton of
Yeah.
Spurs.
Well
Yeah,
done.
well, you can see every team is trying to get involved, which I like.
Everybody wants a
They
piece of
want-
those thumbs. You're right.
They want a piece of it.
All right, Raptors Hawks on League Pass tonight on NBA TV. Some great games: Pelicans and the Rockets, 8 p.m. Eastern, followed by the Pacers and the Clippers.
That's a big one. Pellies, Rockets, two teams outside the playoff picture. It's a big one.
That's right. All right, so that's it for us tonight. Back tomorrow at 5:30 p.m. Eastern. If you see us at the Fortress tonight, come say hi.
Thank you so much for joining us. And remember, a great kickstart to your day is to look out on those projects on Kickstarter.
Brace the night, people.